Hey, Dis. I don't know whether or not you were present last stream. What? Oh dear. I know this is like a talk about it later thing, but is that a lost job in good fashion, in mediocre fashion, or bad fashion? Good fashion? Okay, that's better than the other options, I think. Funding rejected. Okay. So, no burnt bridges, no dramatic fallouts, just cruel, callous economic situations. Or management choices, depending on what the funding rejection reasoning was. Which may or may not be within the scope of your knowledge. Not as bent out of shape about it. That's good, at least, that you're not bent out of shape about it. Because, you know, if you were... I don't know how to format that thought that I was having. That just sort of slipped through my fingers, but... non-traumatic... well, semi... You can apply for unemployment. That's good. Working your game and been applying for jobs. That is also good. What a way to start stream. Damn. Well, glad you're out or coming out of deep dark depression mode. You want to watch me fuck up a city? I don't know whether or not you were here last stream, but problems occurred. Long to see the burning of Carthage. Well, depending on the outcome of potentialities, this may or may not end up being me as Carthage. I might as well start early. That's fine. So, quick recap. Sow the ground with salt. It's my ground. I don't want to sow it with salt. Recap of what happened was we got invaded by an enemy force of 75, and they had 2 units of 80% on both melee and range training, and then 1 unit with 100% melee training, and they beat the shit out of my forces. I put up a valiant defense, but they ended up capturing my throne. So now we're in a situation where I have no military. The raiders are invading. And if I don't do something, my civilization might just sort of collapse. I do have a plan. I do have an idea of what to do. And it comes from a prior initiative that I had been engaging in. So, hopefully it doesn't start me off in 25 times speed. I want to pause immediately. Alright. Alright. were completely paused. A couple things to note to start off with. I am at minus 100% labor. Or sorry, not 100%. I am at minus 100 labor. And this is after having lost 150 population of my previously around 800. So I lost a little under 20% of my population in that fight. So that's bad. The secondary problem is I have no additional military forces. And there is, in fact, going to be an invading force soon. Apparently this dude went insane, and then if you can't have it, no one will. No, I still want my city. But there was a good thing. In advance of everything, I built this gigantic wall, this big, thick, girthy wall that I am hoping. I'll go battle mode. I don't have any forces, so it's not worth going into battle mode. I have a plan, all right? I built this wall. It was fully completed before the raid even started. My plan is I am going to try to use the wall and starve out the enemy. The idea is that if I can reallocate my labor forces such that I have a whole shit ton of laborers at my disposal, what I'll be able to do is, one, plug these holes that the roads are in, and then two, as the enemy continues to punch through my walls, I can build walls behind my existing walls to force the enemy to have to tunnel through even more walls. And the end game of this tactic is that hopefully it allows me to starve out the enemy. And if I can do that, I can kill them. I can make them dead. And I don't have to worry about raising an additional military, because at this point it's going to take me many, many days, if not years, to train up my military again. And I don't have time because the enemies are going to be raiding at any moment. So that's the idea. I reallocate my labor forces. One, so that I have any amount of labor forces, and two, that I have enough of them that I can continuously build ablative walls in order to force the enemy into starvation. Now, the problem is, I'm not entirely sure whether or not raiders can actually starve to death. So I am basing this idea off a presumption that when the raiders invade, there is some stat associated with them that could potentially result in them either dying from starvation or deserting from the raiding army. So that's the gambit. I am betting resources to stall the enemy long enough to give up or die, to avoid having more resources taken from me. Because that loss, I basically lost most of my military hardware. Like, I have maybe half to a third of what I had before. No more bows. Shields are half of what they were. Spears are half of what they were. I had something like 400 leather armor, now it's down to 100. I had somewhere close to 300 plate armor, and now I have 190. And I have no trained troops, so I can't even deploy a military. So it's not looking great. But I think I should be able to come up with the available workforce in order to plug the holes, as it were. So let's get started doing that. There's a couple of gimmies. One, turn off the war beast production because I won't need it, then enslave the captives, and that'll increase my labor availability. Two, turn off training, because I'm not even going to be able to train anyone anyways. This is where the game needs the ability to post archers on the walls. I can post archers on the walls. The problem is I can't train archers fast enough for it to matter for the incoming raid. theoretically, I could try to train archers while the raid is happening, but there's no way for me to effectively deploy those archers in a timely fashion. So basically my choices are starve them out or die. But I need to figure out where I can draw resources from. So the stone mine I want to keep going because I'm going to be using that to build walls, because stone walls are the best ones that I have access to. Archery range and training ground are both disabled. Masonry. Firstly, that just got built. I'm going to disable it. Basically, luxury items and things that I don't actively need in the moment are the things I want to get rid of. Pottery I can disable, because I have enough stock to last me a while for maintenance. It's only 2 per day, and I have 540, so if I don't produce any for a while, that'll be fine. In conjunction with pottery, I can disable clay production. This frees up another 25. I'm still down. I lost 150 population. I can stand to stop working certain things. Cotton farms I don't need anymore, because I can't actually consume cotton fast enough to deplete the amount of cotton that I have in any reasonable time frame. Weavers. Tailors will continue to need the cloth that is produced, so at some point I might just have to switch from producing clothes with fabric to producing clothes with leather. I think I'm still producing armor with leather. No, I only have one tailor. Never mind. Carpenters. I am currently having these carpenters produce war hammers, but once again, I'm not going to be able to train anyone fast enough for it to matter, so I can disable that. Import and export. I'm continuing to export leather because at some point I'm going to have an excess of that. Actually, I should probably disable all export depots. Maybe? Possibly? I don't actually know whether or not entities spawn on the map in order to import or export goods, or if the goods just sort of appear on slots, so I'm going to keep them active. I don't think there's any of these that I need to worry about at the moment. I'm going to continue exporting bread because I just produce so much of it. Import. I might as well keep both of those around. These don't cost me all that many. It's like 5 labor units, and I'm already up 1 on workforce. And personally, you can save scum here. If things turn off in study behavior, it'll help you because you need this lean as shit. I think I can finagle it irrespective of save scumming. I'm already electing to not save scum and just taking the L from the fight. So save scumming to be... I'm trying to be authentic. Presumptuous as that may be. But what can I do without? I think, if I may be so bold, I can turn off rations because nobody's eating them. Wait, someone is eating them? Who's eating them? Slaves. Slaves are eating them. I can turn off ration makers. So now we're cooking. What other industries do I have? Let's take a look inside workforce. Flavors 3, guard post 12s, we're keeping them. Water pump 7, need those. Haulers need that. Kind of need all of these. I could potentially do without the herb farm, but that's only going to free 6 people. Make food production very minimal. I can do that if there's no other places where I can cut corners. I would just prefer not to do that immediately. Tailors, I just took a massive hit to my population, so I can reduce the count of tailors probably by 5. And that won't necessarily reduce the current utilization. Oh, it will. Never mind. Okay, so now we got 16 to work with. Pop this back open. Carpenters are at 65. I'm still net negative on furniture, so I don't want to reduce that anymore. Bakers, I can probably reduce by 5. Gives me 21. Still speakers, graveyards, need those. All of those I need. Government. Warehouses, those are automatically assigned. Laboratories and libraries. I am not using 30 knowledge. The library is currently producing 60, so I could potentially get rid of half of my library staff. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get rid of 10. Because I'm not utilizing that knowledge at the moment anyways. Okay. So now we're lean on everything other than woodcutters. I'm going to continue needing woodcutters because in the event that I run out of stone while building the walls, I'm going to have to go back on wood. So wood's going to have to continue existing. Fruit farms. I don't think the fruit farm is very productive. How much does this fruit farm produce a year? 185 versus what exactly? 570, so my 2 orchards produce like double and a half, triple what that one fruit farm produces, so we'll disable that. That gets us up to 35 laborers. I think that's enough to work off of. So now we have to deal with the problem of we don't know where the enemy forces are coming from. There's a potential that they come from the north or west, and if they come from the north or west, I'm fine. But if they come from the south or the east, I might just be screwed. Like there's this little gap that they might be able to come through, I don't know. And then there's these southern sections that they might be able to spawn in. I hope they can't. I hope they're coming from the north or west, because that's where my wall is. If they come from the south, what I can probably do is very, very quickly, one, demolish the roads across the river to prevent them from getting across, and then 2, close off these caverns and then build walls in this area. That's a plan for that. If they spawn here, I think this is the only situation in which there's basically nothing I can do. Because in order to stop them from this location, I'd basically need to build a second or another wall starting at like right here. And then I would need to build it so quickly that they just can't get through. At which point I might have to make even more labor available. And there's no way for me to save scum that, I don't think, because enemy spawns are randomized. Because I do remember in my previous city, when I tried to save scum an invasion, they spawned in a different spot when I reloaded. So I don't think it's going to work out. And once again, not save scumming. So, that's the plan. That's the outline of the plan. Time to start enacting things. Need to dismantle all of these roads. I don't think there's any way of me doing this quickly, so it's just going to be a hell? Why is there just a body on... Okay, sure. You dismantle all those roads. That is... That's a dead Auroch body. That's not a person. You can't pull meat and leather off of a dead body. Well, unless you have a cannibal structure, but that's just... You need to actually bring the body to the cannibal in order to turn that into meat, so that's not what that is. We've got all of these jobs available. I wish there was somewhere that I could see active jobs. Oh, other thing I need to do. There is a currently active job in order to build an import station. I need to suspend that so that they'll focus on all of these. Fortunately for me, roads are quick to deconstruct, so I should be able to do this with a measure of expedience. Also, upon second thought, with all these new jobs to perform, I don't think 35 is going to do it. So let's... I can't stop the grain farm. I need grain. If I do not produce grain, I'm going to die. But what farms can I stop? I can stop the fisheries, or just the single fishery. If we're low on fish for a couple seasons, then the Dondorians can deal with it. Same thing for the mushroom farms, actually. Sorry that the Dondorians are going to be experiencing the majority of this socio-economic and political downturn. Don't worry, they'll bounce back. I am not using the ration maker at the moment, so I can stop the herb farm. Already disabled fruit farm, cotton farm, grain farms, those are all staying. Opiate farms, I need those for the hospital, so those are staying. Vegetable farms, they're good for the food availability, but I don't know if I need all of them. There's the one... I thought there was a small farm. Yes, there is. Small farm is producing... Holy shit. Wait. No, that's all farms together. That's not that farm specifically. All of these farms are producing about the same. Okay. I think we start with the 57 laborers that I freed up now, and then move on as the situation develops. Oh, right. Suspend that construction job. I do need to give a once over to see if there are any other active construction jobs. Those can stop. I think that's it. I think that's all the active jobs I have at the moment. Alright. Also, there should be defeat. Enemy will be at our gates any moment. That arrived just recently. So now we need people to get their asses in gear and start building all of these things that we need. I'm going to be going at low speed. Alright, we've got a large chain of people moving north to work. Enemies started bombarding us to clear a path. There's nothing we can do but take cover until they are done. Alright. Are they at the far northeast? If so, that is absolutely ideal. Enemy are deploying the troops. May the gods help us quickly enable battlefield and counter them. They must not reach the throne. Yes, I am aware. But are they aware that I am in the process of clowning on them? That being said, I'm not going to be able to get to all of these jobs fast enough, so what I'm going to do is suspend the inner 2 layers of the job and have them prioritize the outermost layer so we can at least try to get those walls built ASAP. Whoa! Hello, Otter Gaming. You have joined at a weird time. I am currently getting invaded, and I don't know whether or not I can actually stop them. Welcome to stream. Just started. Last stream, I lost a military engagement with raiders, and now I have to face the music. Sort of strangely. What are the military forces looking like? It's a single party of raiding talapis. And they're not even, like, displaying on the enemy's screen? I don't know what's going on with that. They are rushing, though. Where the hell are all of my laborers, and what are they doing? Hoping you managed to deal with raid with streaming Song 6, so rated over to you. Well, thank you, Otter Gaming. I am likely not going to survive. Yeah, no. They're all... Oh, wait. They got stuck in a Baltic crawler? Nah. They're running straight in. No hope. Whatever happens, happens. I'm just gonna have to eat the shot. Time to arm every man, woman, and child. I literally can't. I can't muster anyone that's not military. Are they just gonna go straight in through the gaps? Interesting. What is their pathing doing? Actually, wait. I have a stupid idea. Can I seal the throne? Can I just nuh-uh and wall off my throne? I don't think that... No, it's a mud wall. They'll just break right through it. It's a funny idea, but that's why I always train up 20 barely trained soldiers. Yeah, the problem is I lost the previous military engagement, so all of my soldiers are dead. So there's no one to work with, really. All right. Just, guys, come on in. Come on. Take all my shit. I'm even gonna just go ahead and cancel jobs while y'all are working on kit. Taking my shit. I had a plan. It's not gonna work. They were too quick. Whoops. Cancel those jobs. Where are the enemies at? They're doing peculiar things. They're just standing around? Started with the pig people, I assume? Yes. I did, in fact, start with Crotonians. They are always good at agriculture, so... Oh, I should probably declare, what's it called? Should probably declare curfew so that people aren't just out getting murdered in the streets. Okay, this is really weird. The enemies aren't really moving towards my throne. They're just kind of vaguely harassing my citizens. Always the Amevians, the funny lizardmen are great. I've never actually played with the Amevians. They've got... Don't they have good combat stats? Oh, shit. Where did that army come from? Well... That's gonna happen. Those are the same 2 units that beat me. Hey, Blaze Cat. Play similar to beat Talapi. Rip, yeah. I don't live this. Just get to my... Guys, you don't have to break down the wall. Ooh. 2,000 Nari and 40% of my warehouse stock. Ouch. Good at raw resources, industry, food, racist, and have better general stats. Mivas are stronger melee fighters. Oh, you're talking about Talapi. Okay. Coward, see what you made me do? Oh, shut up, Raiders. Let's pretend that you're not criminals for a moment. Get all my repair all my shit. Maybe I have longer lifespan, take less food, and also very low derange rate. Oh, that's good. Fortunately, I don't really like, or don't really care about the derangement because they just sort of fuck off and then I replace them whenever they die of exposure. Exchange lower birth rate, high racism, don't like slave. Tilapia's advantages, they like slaves. Okay. I mean, so long as you don't have so many slaves that it becomes a significant negative contributor to your population's happiness. Oh shit, I need to start re-enabling things. Fruit farm, get that back up and running. Herb farm, that back up and running. Mushroom farm, get that back up and running. Warby's pasture can stay down and out for a little bit. Clay pit, masonries, potteries, blah 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 blah. Debuff permit is negligible. Yeah. I think the max for slavery is something like 2 or something? Oh no, never mind. The max can be significant. Oh, 1.5. I don't quite understand how the fulfillment score works for negative contributors. Confuses me. Amevia's important. For Amevians, the important is other slaves not. Important is other slaves, not Amevian slaves. Okay. Are there any more broken buildings? I still do wonder what was up with those 5. Oh, yeah. There's a couple more broken buildings. Seriously, they just kind of they showed up in some people's houses, knocked down some walls, and then left. That was such a strange thing for them to do. All in all, though, there was... Oh man, they took all of my military resources. I'll bounce back eventually. I'm not happy, but I can recover. Alright. Coal mines don't need those. Potteries, masonries, ration maker back on. Never turned any of those off. Library. I reduced that from 30 to 20, so we'll bring that back up. We Blizzards tried horses yet? I was just about to create a shock cavalry troop before the raiders came, and I didn't get them active before I got raided. So I did build our pasture, which is another thing that I need to re-enable. So thank you for reminding me. And also the cotton farms. Those also need to go back online. And alongside that, clay pits, you get re-enabled. Potteries, you get re-enabled. Masonries, you also get re-enabled. I don't think I need 10 of you. I think 6 of you is fine. Okay. We're in the... They broke my road. Why? That's so incredibly petty. You just... They show up, Kill 150 people, break down some walls, and tear up some cobblestones. Bastards. Absolutely no humor. Or maybe tearing up the cobblestones was humor. Actually, where? No, they didn't even tear up cobblestones in anywhere significant. They just tore up some random cobblestones. Horses have been great, fought an army during the stream that was mostly archers, and a few elite soldiers, and my shock mace cavalry decimated the archers with one charge. Yeah, I could have really used archers. Or sorry, not archers, horses in that one fight, because I had 2-to-1 in numbers, but I was basically 2-to-1. I was 2-to-1 against them with numbers, but they were 2-to-1 against me with training. So, roadstones are souvenirs. I also make horse archers, which I need to try. Yeah. I don't know if horse archers are more valuable as... or horses are more valuable as shock troops for breaking formations, or as high-speed, high-mobility archers. I can see both of them being useful. Once my armory gets larger, I probably want a unit of both. Oh right, I need to re-enable training. Not quite that many. Let's get... 20 and 20. Yeah, no, we can do 30. I'll be a little tight on laborers, but that's fine. I have not recovered my population yet, so once I get in some additional immigrants, then that should be fine. Mix is probably best. I agree. Shock to break archers and horses kill melee soldiers. Honestly, just the morale hit against the enemy for loss of formation from the archers is probably extremely valuable. 20% melee training was where I really fucked up, so let's get 50 throughout. Archers having 20 made them practically useless. Y'all are going to need more training. I wish there was a more horse-like icon. I'm just keeping the, I know that the round icon is more supposed to be a shield, but I'm just imagining it in my mind as a chariot. Maybe that works. Try Amevians in your free time, they've been buffed? Okay. I will keep that in mind. But it is nice to see that some negative consequences of the raid aren't too terrible. Obviously, I would prefer to not have lost 40% of my stores of everything, but this situation is recoverable. I think I dismissed 5 bakers, too. Bring those guys back. Not that I need the additional 5 bakers now that I look at it. Maybe just disable this bakery for now. Net 500 on food. Positive. I don't need any more. Now, I did build the stone cutters. Problem is, I don't actually remember what I built the stone cutters for. There was a reason for it. Unfortunately, that reason is no longer present in my mind. Oh shit, I need more stone miners. Not that the stone mine is fully staffed anyways. I think I'm still in population shock. All of the citizens are still trying to figure out upgrading houses. It wasn't that. Upgrading houses is something I will eventually need to do, but it wasn't that. There was something that I needed cutstone to build. Whatever. It'll become readily apparent at some point in the future. Change recipe. I don't actually want to build warhammers at the moment. I want spears. Spears are a necessary part of my military. Wells? It might have been wells. You might be right. I definitely do need cutstone to make wells, but I don't have the technology to support it yet. How much technology do I need to actually make those wells? Fancy wells. 5 and 15. I can actually do that. Not that I necessarily want to at the moment, assuming there's not any better technology to spend the knowledge on. I don't really care for law at the moment. They're just going to have to suffice with being slaves. Moisture helps your ranches too. Yes, I am aware of that. Fortunately, the moisture on this map is actually quite good. If I turn on moisture overlay, you can see it's a lot of bright blue. I do have this weird black spot, but there's so much bright blue in this auroch pasture that it ends up sort of evening out. Canals spread out full 10 moisture. Yep, I know. That is one of the reasons why I make triple wide roads. So I've got building, space, road, space, building. So that if I ever want to run canals through my city to get to things like this auroch pasture or a bathhouse or pools, I can run it up along the side. Have the boogie. All right. See you later, Dis. Whether that be later this stream or on Friday. Right. I think I can make time pass faster now. I think we've stabilized. Roads are 4 wide because I designed it for a 2x2 torches for amphibians. Ah. That does make sense. I was toying with the idea of making 5 wide roads, but I couldn't for the life of me justify the lost space. Like, it does allow you to produce larger it gives you more wiggle room inside your grids if you use grids. But apart from that, I couldn't think of a reason to do it. Particularly since 4 wide already allows for a canal and then a 2 wide side. Really lost space. You just need to use the middle 3 for decorations. Yeah. You said middle 3. That does actually lead me to a... I'm not going to actually build it, but I'm just going to sort of show you what I'm thinking of in my head. Turn on planning. There's probably a way you can do 5 wide in such a fashion that it's not 1 road in the center and 2 on either side. Instead, it's like 2 roads on either side. There's buildings right up against the roads, and then the center lane is just whatever you want it to be. That might be interesting. Because then it'll also support things like canals, 2 wide, 2 and 3 wide decorations, 2 and 3 wide torches. Obviously, if you run a canal through a particular street, you can't have 3 wide, but if you're willing to use culverts for some unknowable reason, then you could do that. Did they ever fix culverts, or are they still shit? Still less efficient than canals? Yep. Alright. Well, calling it a fix is probably disingenuous. They're not meant to be overpowered. Sort of meant to be a strange means of teleporting water wherever you need it. If it was amazing, I imagine the middle would be canals, 3x3 torches at intersections, and trees lining the canals. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, quick resource evaluation. Is there anything that I need that I am net negative on? Wood, yes. Stone, also yes. Ooh, that's a lot of wood lost. Let's increase utilization, or the population of the woodcutters. Culvert's entire point was just like, oh, I need water through the walls. Yep, that's my interpretation of the culverts as well. Up those to 180. 80. And then Cretonians, you all can be 440. Just to get that increased labor availability. Man. Hurts to be poor. Can I research Bowyer? No, I can't. I need additional research in order to do that. That might be a worthwhile pursuit. Increase scientists by 5. That should get me into the range of having a Bowyer. Maybe it's more prudent to import bows at the moment. Probably is. Currently importing tools, bows, and spears. The thing that I need to import at the moment is shields. Actually, what is my consumption on tools? Sort of awkward. About 10 per day. So if I stop importing tools, I'll run out in about 2 years. Actually, no. Why did I think days were divided into 4... Seasons were divided into 4 days. That's not correct. Going to head out. Hope the rest of your stream goes well. Thank you. Also, thank you for following. I hope you have a good evening. So it's 16 days per year, 4 days per season, 270 tools. I run out of tools in a year and a half. Okay. If that's the case. Let's increase the amount of tool storage I have. Which one of you stores tools? More than one of you. Okay. Actually, why am I bothering to increase the amount of crates? Let me just increase the percentage of import. That would make more sense. Currently holding at 330 items. Let's increase that from 10 to 15%. So that way I'll be able to retain about 3 years worth of tools and then switch to importing weapons and armor once again. Ah, yes, clothes. Think once... Oh no, I'm just screwed on clothes for the moment. That's unfortunate. Tailors. I think I decrease you from 15 to 10 as well, so if I increase you back up to 15... I'm not producing enough cloth for it to matter. Do I have more capacity on weavers? No, I do not. If that's the case, I'm going to need to build a larger weaver. Where am I going to do that? This area is reserved for a bathhouse. Or a physician. Haven't decided yet. Probably a bathhouse. This area is reserved for a physician. This area is available. It's not super close to cotton stores, but it's close enough. Oops. Let's see. 4 in, 5 in. Can I get away with doing it this way? No, I can't. I can't reduce the width by 1 or 2. I'm just gonna have it like that. Makes it less complicated. Ding, 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 ding. Man, I love suboptimal sizing. Okay, no structural problems from that. But does create the problem where this central area is less accessible. But if I use it like this... There we go, back up to 100%. I can reduce it, create the auxiliary loom, make it a 4 wide, bring it back up to 100%, and now I have all this space to play with. I think having a long storage is probably a good idea, so long storage there. Is there a capacity by which I can increase my employee count just a little bit more? Make this one larger. I'm still at 100%, so I can just do that. Installation is still at 100%. Done. Construct. Well, don't actually construct. Just be there for the moment. Maintenance, masonries, carpenters, furniture decay. Actually gonna run out of stone. That's an interesting problem. Add an additional 10 workers to the stone mines. Might need to... What's your problem? You're at a reduction in efficiency due to increased commute time. That is in fact an issue, but not one that I'm going to acknowledge or fix at the moment, because that will require additional decentralization of my city, which cannot support such an endeavor at the moment. Currently ill with vision fever. Oh, good. Well, I don't have the physician yet. Actually, did I research the physician? I did, and I forgot to construct him. In that case, health, physician, you require... That's what I was making cut stone for. It was the physician. But then again, I don't actually have enough furniture production in order to handle that. You know how I can improve that? I have only used 3 of my 5 nobilities. Hear me out. What if I use those nobilities to increase my wooden furniture production? Yeah? Sounds like a good idea to me. Start off grabbing someone from the wood. Which of my subjects care more about having nobilities? Donians like having nobles, Dondorians like having nobles, humans like having nobles. I am going to have an imbalanced quantity of nobles. Cretonians are generally happier, so I'll make the nobles human and Dondorian. Make the Dondorian noble Archibald Thalger. That's a noble name. Congratulations, you are now the Minister of Furniture. Now woodcutters. Misha Weedle. Same, but for lumberjacks. Now we should be massively up on production for both. Good. All good. Situation improving. Although I'm reminded, I don't think I need all of that. Re-enable import depot construction. That's another question. Do I need No work is within the radius. What do you mean by no work is within the radius? I don't have enough bread to justify you going to fetch bread. That makes sense. Livestock decays too quickly for me to not export it. Clay I am producing in excess as an export substance. It's not valuable. I'll continue doing that. I have 5 export depots. I should utilize this additional space in front of make 4 export depots here. Activate those jobs. Or not, geez, what happened to my labor availability? Workforce, whatever. The Andorians continue to die. Let me guess, brawls. Yep. That's obnoxious. Thank you, Crotonians. Really don't comprehend the reason why, when one citizen kills another in a brawl, that does not count as a wrongful death. And reality confounds me. Maintenance masonries, carpenters. Right, I did increase... Wait. Master of Carpenters. Oh, Master of Carpenters increases all of my carpenters. So that's not just furniture, that also applies to spear production. I'm back in the green, baby! I actually have more spears than I need. Excellent, 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 excellent. So let's switch over to producing warhammers, because I will need the warhammers for the force modifier for my shock troops. The horsies demand blood. What benefit does the war beast confer? Minus 0.1 per year, defense minus 50, formation minus 100, charge, speed, offense, and weight all massively up. As long as I continue to use them as pure shock troops, we all good. What does the increase in training confer? Defense, offense, formation, force, morale, and stamina. So I do still want to keep that high. I do want force absorption. For my mounted troops, but I also don't want to reduce their speed too much, because that speed that I get from the war beasts is my big modifier. For shock troop value. Every... Is it minus 25% per plate armor, or is it just any amount of plate armor results in... I really don't know. Which of these stats is speed? .7. Base species faction configuration minus 1.13. So if I decrease armor, does that increase? Minus 0.9. Okay. So it is per unit of armor. But on the offhand, I don't need them to move quickly, I just need them to act as defensive walls, and then I can use the horses as shock troops. If I had the horses as shock troops, I would have been able to drive the enemy off of my throne. But I didn't, so it didn't happen. Right, pottery. I do not currently need all of this pottery. But I wonder if I should export it. I think I should export it. Let's get that export depot going. Because if I'm producing additional pottery, then that's additional income, which I can then spend on buying the things that I can't produce easily, ergo bows. Man, I am destroying my own stone production. Look, I need you to finish that export depot. It's very important. It's a literal matter of national security. Which reminds me, I need to import metal. Which is an odd reality. But having them having stolen a shit ton of my metal has resulted in a significantly decreased stockpile for maintenance purposes. So I do in fact want that back. Export depot. Pottery. Priority limit 80%. Re-enable the pottery. Pottery guys? Pottery studio? Potters. The pottery. Charcoaler brewery, bakery, metal smelter, crafting, masonry, carpenter. I'm only realizing now that the names of all of the buildings sort of interestingly alternate between the occupational name of a person that works there, the occupation itself, because, like, a carpenter is a person who engages in carpentry. A carpentry is the building, or like a workshop, I guess. Is there a formal single word name for a place in which carpenters work? Woodshop. Never mind, I've answered my own question. Going to take a while for y'all to get trained. Needs to train fully trained. Deployable 19, 14, 13, 30. With absolutely no one fully trained, because it's going to take, what, 60 days to train a single troop up to full? This is the point at which I might actually want to invest in military technology, just to boost the training speed. I can put 10 and 10 in. I don't have that much innovation. Which would I prefer? 10 in soldiering or 10 in archery? I have more soldiers than archers. But I have more capacity to train soldiers than I do capacity to train archers. Speed rate, employees. Technology. If I increase by 0.1, it'll be 30 times 1 times 1.1. Which will not be a dramatically increased training speed. I could always just spend and refund the technology, just see what happens. 110%. Okay. So that did actually meaningfully increase the speed at which it took to train. So now I've dropped the training speed down to 55. I've cut off an entire 5 days per person across 150, or in this case, 90 melee troops, that constitutes 450 reclaimed work hours. Not nothing. And as they will continue to need to be trained as time progresses, that should save more hours the longer it goes on. See, more torches, more furniture, more meat. You have enough meat, shut up. I think everyone's probably unhappy as a result of losing a fight, I would imagine. Or not? Catch of fish is unusually good. Good to see. Thank you for the notice. Rebuilding my rations. If I had done better in that fight, then I'd probably have better morale or better fulfillment for my environment from the battle section. It is true. I did get quite handily beaten the shit out of. Where am I storing rations? Storing rations in Warehouse 1. Not in Warehouse 2. Not in Warehouse 3, but in Warehouse... Wait. I am storing rations in Warehouse 3. That's where my military is. Let's increase that to 15 storage. Now let's increase it to 20. I think I'm storing... Yeah, I'm storing all the things I need for military. 5 crates for war beasts. The odds of my ever actually having 1,500 war beasts is pretty despairingly low. So let's reduce that down to 2 crates. Keep it relatively high for everything else, though. Oh man, I forgot I was holding storage space for all that stone. This is pretty much just what I'm going to be able to store here. It's just a bunch of wood, a bunch of stone, some bread, rations, military equipment, etc. Not that I'm complaining, just drawing attention to it to myself. I am once again running out of laborers. Whoops. 450 Cretonians. I am producing a disgusting excess of furniture. Let's drop that down. Put it at 50. Honestly, still too many. Down to 40. Net 24 is acceptable. Now on wood, I'm going to be massively over once again, but I'm going to start exporting wood again at some point, so we'll just keep that going. Stone, I think I'm still negative on. Yes. Force pierce damage. I want them to go with as many Warhammers as is possible, because it does not increase their weight, but it does increase their force. Force block, force absorption. The ability to absorb damage. Force damage absorption when an attack is parried. How does one quantify... Whatever. Alright, leather is going to be another point of contention in the near future. Not leather, excuse me, leather armor. I lost so much of it. I lost so much the initial fight, and then I lost more to this enemy raid. So I am broke as hell with regards to armor. Let's make that an importable good. 5% capacity. Let's boost that to 25% capacity. Spears are good. Bows, I'm seemingly not importing. Have I brought any bows in? No, I've only purchased tools. Why have I only purchased tools? I should have the capital necessary in order to purchase bows. I don't know why it would prevent me from doing so. Hello? Expenditures, please. Did not freeze import. Maybe there's just aren't any available to purchase. Y'all have any bows? Yes, the unit price is 570 per item. Yikes. Freaking 100 above market price, bastards. Let me manually buy bows then. I think I have enough to just... Okay, apparently not. Buy half that then. 824,003. Barter. Get some bows inbound. Let's take a look at spear usage. Whoops. I think for everyone that can equip spears, I have the max spears equipped. Yes. Now I should give my archers some melee training just so that if they ever run out of arrows, I can do so. And then I'll have to get falcata in order to equip them. But one thing that does confuse me is if I remember correct... Wait. I don't need falcata. I can use spears. That is valuable information. Spears are one-handed. Doesn't deal a lot of damage, increases defense in the front, well-organized formation. What effect does formation have? The falcata has a substantially higher effect on damage. Increases defense in the front of a well-organized formation. Length makes unsuited for mounted combat. If that's the case, I probably want to give the bowman falcata, just to offset the fact that they are not heavily armored, so that they'll at least do more damage. Granted, it may be foolish from the prospect of why would you give poorly trained soldiers falcata, which, if I'm thinking about it from that perspective, then maybe it's a better idea to give my actual melee infantry, who are taking the brunt of the damage, Valcata so that they can actually do damage. I will have an opinion about that in the future. For the moment, I just need everybody to keep buying things. Come on, why am I not? Is there like a priority thing going on? Continuing to buy tools, not buying spears, am apparently buying leather armor? In batches of 30 to 40k denarii. So I'm confused. The leather armor is about twice the price of the bows. In this instance, why is it prioritizing armor purchases over bow purchases? Not that I'm complaining, I'm just curious. Right, imports. There's another thing that I needed to import, and that was iron. Not 50%. Export depot. Net 23 on furniture. Build another export depot, and then I'll start exporting furniture. My kingdom for cash flow. Position is another thing that I need to construct. That's a weaver. Get planning active. Health physician. Naturally, I have the physician right in front of the place where all of the animals are. Because nothing says sanitary environment like cow dung. Workbenches. Really? Another mass death event at the bakery. Come on, guys. Whatever. Immigration control will bring in replacements. Okay. A whole lot of interesting. 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2. There and there. I feel like this is going to be a bit of a strange situation. Man, quality is not increasing quickly. Maybe I get rid of 2 on the outside. Nope, not enough. Get rid of Some here. $96. 100. All right. And a very strange layout to you as well. Now, can I actually construct that? Do I have 98 worth of cut stone? I do. Let's activate that. That will drastically improve the health of my settlement. Who died and why? Brawl. Great. How are my cemeteries doing? I should have enough. Yes. Average of about 12% load. $42 available workforce. The Dondorians are still pissy about what exactly? Lights. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about that. You say you want more meat, but I have shit tons of meat, so bullshit. Army is embarrassing. I'm working on it. Slaver. Alright. I do have excess workforce. I have 54 slaves. I would like to not have that many because it's becoming an issue. Who all are expensive that I don't need? Take a look at what occupations the slaves are working. If I can. Occupation, work priorities. No, employed 67%. You're not going to tell me what the actual population of slave workers is, are you? I have a 54% employment rate on human slaves, which means they're the lowest value slave that I am currently, or lowest value labor slave. So let's get rid of those. That'll net me a tidy 30k denarii. I'll reduce my slave population. Make everyone slightly happier. Happiness, 85%. You wish you had more food servings. Of course you do. Let's increase all of our food servings to 2. That reduces my food days to 15, so a year's worth. 830. 845. Let's increase the number of bakers we have going. Nope. Or just re-enable this bakery. Reduce that to 10 bakers. See what we're working with from that. 880. In that case, increase the number of bakers again. My workforce is down and out. Ah, it's because I have the physician built, isn't it? No, it's not even because I have the physician built. 460. 200 and 200. Now, law, bunch of people. Continue to be productive, thank you very much. I need to build additional housing. In all likelihood. Build some stone housing. Housing, not apartments. Right there. I am continuing to lose food, though not quickly. Wonder how much of that is decay. Alright, a lot of it is just seasonal consumption of seasonal crops. Fish is down, but it looks like it'll probably stabilize. Bread is still up. I think I'm still exporting bread, too. Yes, I am in fact still exporting bread. Not that I intend to stop. Ooh, the physician is up as well. Good. Health should be increasing. 1.82. And rising. Ish. The good thing about the physician is that the only material usage for it is the maintenance upkeep, so I don't need to worry about supplying it. Unlike the hospital. It needs a constant supply of fabric and opium. I have forgotten that I need to export furniture. 80%. Grain, I am arguably overproducing. Increase this by 5, and let's increase secondary storage as well. Up to 20. I'd rather have a shit ton of grain in storage and not necessarily being consumed fast enough and having some decay than not have enough grain in storage. Food days are continuing to decrease. Seems like that's also just a factor of decay. Deaths in the stone mine, as can be expected. Woodcutters, I have entirely too many woodcutters. Let's reduce those numbers a little bit. Bring it down from 38 down to 30. It'll hurt my exports, but then I'll have additional labor. It occurs to me that I'm not producing eggs. Does anyone actually care about eggs? Humans care about eggs. Well, humans aren't pissed off at the moment, so I don't care either. Food preference for Crotonians is 18%. What is your preferred food? You have all of your preferred food. Well, you don't have alcohol, but there's no way in hell I'm bothering to produce alcohol at the moment. It is too expensive. Do I have the resources to construct a weaver at the moment? No, I do not. In either respect, I need to start producing shields. I have enough warhammers now. Excitingly, I actually have mounted cavalry. Just increase them to 150. Just for the sake of saying so, and then also increasing warhammer usage to 150 as well. They can keep the 60 armor. Then they'll be highly, highly impactful shock troops. I might even be able to stagger giants with them, if I'm being highly optimistic. What's with the horn? I'm concerned. Alright, this place is full of stone miners. That is as can be expected. Whoops. Nope, don't turn all of that into road. Cancel job. Meant to activate job. There we go. Okay. Sitting pretty, I think. Food looks like it's kind of stabilized. Maybe. Not harvest season, so... Whoa! Why and for what reason did it suddenly drop off the map? It is going to take a while for the ration makers to spring back up. I think when I did the math, I was theoretically able to store 15,000 rations and maintain production, so let's just... I don't have storage available in here for that. How much available storage do I have across my warehouses? That's another warehouse, that's a carpenter. 150, 139, 152. Warehouse 4 has 64. That is far... Okay. Who got hurt? Woodcutters. Silly woodcutters. You behave as if I offer labor and industries benefits. I do not. So, it's actually not true. I actually have socialized healthcare. You can use the hospital for free. Whether or not it's any good is sort of subjective, but you can at least use it. .4% workload. How busy your employees are? Not very. Not consuming a lot of fabric, not consuming a lot of opiates. That is good. How am I doing on clothing? Still on the up, considering that I am not producing cloth as fast as I could be. Probably time to build the second weaver. Okay. I actually have fully trained troops. It's only 2 of them, but that's more than none. Whoa! 17. Nice. Edit Credo Horse. There is only 1 Credo Horse, so that is Credo Horse 1. How dare you not take confirmation? Accept. Ugh. I really hope I don't get invaded anytime soon. If I do, I'm probably in trouble. Babyface Emma. Who did I get raided by the last time? Raider raids? Raider on their way. Claire One Eye. I'll get my revenge one day, Claire. I should keep in mind getting bowled over by 384 power is what I can expect. Meet my leather armor requirements. Continuing to breed war beasts. Not using falcatas. Not using flanks. Shields are getting there. I have far more than enough warhammers. Bows I'm slowly trading for. Plate armor, I don't have any incoming. Is there someone on the map that I can trade a meaningful amount of? Well, I don't have any denaries. So no plate armor for me at the moment. Right, weavers are active. Yeah, 25 weavers working. I'm going to keep this weaver active for the moment. I am massively consuming fibers. That is a good thing to see. Currently contemplating switching from wood to coal. I mean, the wood is at least very proximity convenient for my bakers, because both of my bakeries are right next to the place where I store a whole shit ton of wood. Or perhaps not. Is this warehouse seriously employing 48 delivery men? Holy shit. Busiest warehouse in the land. Right. Satisfied shield requirements. If I theoretically wanted to be able to produce falcatas, I would need to get smithies up and running and then spend an additional 10 knowledge to enable falcata smithing. But I would still need to have a smeltery and coal and iron production. Now, one thing that I can do, because I have the furniture production now, is that I can build the ore mine. That actually sounds like a good idea. Not going to work it yet, but I am going to have it there and have it built. I should probably start zoning. Well, I'm already zoning for... I already zoned in advance for metalworking. Huzzah! Finding metal smelter. Let's just make this entire thing metal smelting. Five, and 5. Theoretically, if I turn these into walls, and then put storage here, it doesn't respect it. Okay. It'd almost be better just to make this entire row solid walls, so that I can place things however I deign. First, I need to make sure that I have all of the auxiliary furnaces up and running and available. That makes 100. Storage. Should be able to make a nice block of storage right here. That'll work. All right. What do I like about this game? I like the planning aspects, honestly. I'm a internal micromanager. I like city builders in general. I'm not entirely sure what it is about city builders in general that I like. It might just be that it's the constant additional stream of problem solving and logistics and material management. It's definitely not an action-based enjoyment, although when there is combat, it can be entertaining. I don't know. I think the best answer that I have to that question is I like city builders, and this game has novel mechanics that I enjoy apart from other city builders. It's sort of a generic response to your question, but it's the best one that I can prepare off the top of my head. I don't really have it in my mind to do an in-depth analysis of my enjoyment of games. Although I hope that answer was helpful. And now I think I come to the problem where I might have... No, janitor's fine. I think there's another aspect of it where it's sort of like an ant farm. So if I zoom out and I can see all the little blue dots running around. That's my civilization functioning and being productive. Here's the answer I found about this game like 2 days ago. I'm kind of interested in it. Well, I will say that there is definitely a learning curve associated with this game. Like, you can look at what I'm doing right now and not necessarily make sense of everything that's going on. I don't know if you prefer... Actually, I don't know if he's still in chat. Hold on. Blaze Cat, are you still here? If so, I might need help in answering 100 Eyes questions. Um, 100 Eye, this game is... If you've ever played Dwarf Fortress, it hits on some similar notes. There's definitely significant differences between the two of them. Want to see some gameplay of the game? Alright. So, I mean, free to take a look. If you want to see additional gameplay, I do have the VODs available on the Twitch and the associated YouTube channel, if you care to go back and see the building of the city from the beginning. But apart from that, there's really lots of different ways you can play. I tend to build my cities in a largely self-sufficient manner. In this city, I'm a little bit more heavy into trade. But that's by no means the only way that you can play the game. Like, there's no reason that you couldn't only produce, like, 1 or 2 resources and then import everything else. That is a choice you can make. You can be diplomatic, you can be warlike. This is a conquest campaign, so I am planning on being more conquest forward. Definitely a couple things to be aware of is that there's lots of, I'll say, hidden menus. Like if I click on, not this weaver, they produce fabric from cotton. You can see that it's consuming 43 cotton and producing 45 cotton, and this is on a per day basis. And then each of these things, if you mouse over them, you get breakdowns of everything that's affecting the efficiency and productivity of the game. 100 Eye, thank you for following. So there's lots of little menus like that. And there are, I think the most insane menu that I can point out at the moment, hold on for a moment. Something just finished constructing and absolutely decimated my labor availability. The craziest thing that I can point at the moment is if I select an NPC, right? Each of these NPCs has descriptions, preferences, things they do, and if I mouse over this bit, this is all of that individual entity's fulfillment values. There is very little reason that I have found why you would get into this degree of nitty-gritty on a particular citizen, particularly because you can see the average values in the population screens. So all of these tabs for the different races, all of these tabs for the different categories of fulfillment values. And you can scroll through them, mouse over these menus, get an idea of what things look like. Like for the food stalls, I didn't realize this. I only have a 38% access rating for my food stalls, which means most of the citizens can't readily access food, which is something that I need to fix. But there's lots of menus like this. So I think in additional support of my question about what do I like about this game is that I can get really detail-oriented with approaching and solving problems. Like, with that 38% food availability rating, I can click on my food stall, and then I can look to my left, and I see all of these food stalls. This green bar, that's load. So all of these food stalls are at 100% load, which is something I didn't realize was a problem, which means all of these food stalls are overloaded. They can't support the demands of my population, which means I need to upgrade them and or make more of them. I don't have the tech to upgrade them, so I am going to have to make more of them. And I can do that basically wherever I damn well please. Distribution, food stall. There's an element of city planning, like I am going to need additional services later on. Where am I going to leave space so that I can have those additional services be present? I'm gonna make a big food stall. Yeah. Definitely your first city is probably gonna be... It's probably gonna be a bit shit. My first city was quite shitty. I didn't know how to build armies yet, so I was pretty much just throwing a whole bunch of naked citizens at incoming armies, and they were getting absolutely butchered. I tried to get military equipment on, but I didn't know how to equip the military at the time, so that ended up not working out very well. And I will say that is a gimme that I'm going to give you right now. Ooh, how many hours? Also, hello, Skrunkle Bungloo. How many hours have I played this game? As of this very moment, 230. I have 230 hours in this game. Also on Song of Six, I have 1,100 hours. Okay, so you're beating the shit out of me in terms of hours. 100 Eye, feel free to engage with Skrunky, or Skrunkle? Skrunkle. With questions, because he is almost certainly more experienced than me. That's another thing. I don't really watch Song of Six content. I more just play it. I enjoy to an extent the thrill of discovery. Earlier in the stream, I don't think anyone that is currently here was here for that. I was invaded by raiders, and I tried to implement a strategy where I closed off all of my walls in order to try to starve them in a siege, but they did not. I was not able to build up the walls fast enough to make that viable. Yeah, or mines stubbornly refused to try to conquer early on. This is my third city, well, fourth city. First city was shit, second city was there for like a little bit, and then I went and played Final Fantasy XIV for many hundred hours. Third city, I got into military, but then the game patched, and now we're on the current patch with the fourth city, where the entire point of this current city is to actually engage with the conquest mechanic of the game. First 800 hours did no military. Yep. When you say did no military, do you mean you didn't like actually try to conquer anyone, or if you were just sort of like setting up walls? Established build order for your capital. Garrison, but no conquest. I don't know what you mean exactly by build order. I don't have an established garrison out on the map yet. I'm still sort of in the early military stages. What buildings do you build first? I'm definitely heavily agriculturally forward focused. After agriculture, what buildings did I build first? Get rid of the birds. I don't... Actually, can I tank the health hit? I can actually just tank the health hit. Alright, that's the first time I've been able to do that. Here's the thing, the birds improve all of these things. Oh shit, it increases the decay rate. Never mind, get rid of the birds. Fuck the birds. Absolutely not. I don't need them 5 timesing the decay rate. Crap, what was the question? Buildings do I build first? Righto. This warehouse, I built this warehouse at this size first. I don't tend to build smaller warehouses. I know this is a good idea to build smaller warehouses. Guy who was in the stream earlier, he was here at a previous scene, Blaze Cat, he recommended a thing that I didn't ever consider, which was building a small warehouse next to the janitors so that the warehouse will stock the janitors and just be right next to them, which is a smart idea, which I hadn't considered. I'd used haulers previously when I was struggling with that issue, which was inefficient comparatively. I think most of what I was forward on at the very beginning, I produced mostly grain, a tiny, tiny bit of fruit and veg. Housing, obviously, a little bit of religion. And this Auroch pasture went up very quickly. You have a Discord community. I sort of do asterisk. There is a Discord group that I am a part of, which... Hold on, I don't have Discord opened. It's sort of like a budding Discord streamer community. I don't have a Discord link. I would need to ask the Discord admin whether or not I can open up the link or post the link on the Twitch channel. It's called Cordialis. And there's various streamers on that Discord channel, but it is nowhere near big yet. Well, nowhere near big. If it ever gets big, it'll be there. Good, just trying to get to know as many Song of 6 people as possible because just sharing city plans is fun. That's reasonable. I actually fucked up my city planning, so I pretty much always use grid structures because I have no regard for Crotonians and their desire for round buildings. I don't care. They don't care. They're happy anyways. But I made my grids... My grids were supposed to be internally 24 by 24, and I accidentally made them internally 22 by 22. I try to make my grids be able to accommodate 4 long houses, length and width-wise. Or at least along one way. But I screwed that up. So now, in this city, it's all just normal houses and apartments. Yeah, I messed that up. One thing that I have, okay, just do a 3x3 of 101 by 101 grid to start. 3x3, 101 by 101. What do you mean by that? Each square is 101 big? Damn. So you take the 101 size grids and then you subdivide them? Each square is 101. There's 9 of them arrayed in 3x3. Okay, so like the entire map is covered by 9 101 grids. Just kind of build around it at first. Okay, I actually like that. I think you go from the reverse direction that I do. You go from like the large unit of city block, we'll say size, and then reduce it. Once you have enough city conquest resources, start planning the main city. So do you not consider the first starting territory that you have as your main city? Do you kind of like conquer someone else? Do a little shit show clown car town in some corner to start? Hey, if it works, it works. I don't think that you necessarily need to do what I do, which is sort of like create a self-sustaining community before starting a conquest. I imagine that you can like... Well, you can be more aggressive with my tactic, because I don't generally produce military equipment in large quantities. Like, I am producing shields at the moment, which I kind of need to stop doing. I have enough. Make more spears. Beeline it to military equipment in large quantities. I also do that, but I do it through trade, not through... One of the first things I get is makeshift weapons. Yeah, that makes sense. I actually avoid makeshift weapons initially because I can just trade for the weapons I need. I do make armor, though. I go pretty hard into Auroch pastures. Aurochs are just good. Import stone and wood and sell warhammers for massive profit. I mean, yeah. What's the production ratio? One warhammer needs 8 wood and 10 stone. That's... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see the massive profit. My build order is to make carpenters sell warhammers and buy bread. Yeah, see? 100i, there's a bunch of different ways of playing the game. Full arms dealing economy for Skrunkle Bungalow. And it works. Really, I think trade is like the thing that makes this game fun and viable. Or you even run out of shit. Yes, I model my empire after the United States of America. Please don't model your empire off the United States of America. There's so many issues. That being said, I can't think of a better place to model off of, so, you know, you do you. So by that rationale, you just don't build hospitals. Or you don't provide access to hospitals or physicians, right? Sell arms, seek hyperstability in region, destabilize people far away so I can install vassals. Yeah? Wait, so grand strategy is very American? Wait, do you actually not build hospitals or physicians? Home strategies mostly make people happy and give them healthcare. Okay. I try to keep my happiness and loyalty pretty up. How much do you care about education? I know I had the same idea as BlazeCat earlier, which is that you just don't do anything but have immigrants because they're all educated until you can actually sustain your own education system. Don't do anything for a while. Yeah, makes sense. It's really only helpful in mid to later game, like once your population gets into like the 1,000 or 1,500 range, where it becomes viable to even worry about it. Yeah, what's the population requirement for this? 12,000. That's going to take a while. Alright, mostly recovered from all the bad things that happened. Holy shit, I am producing far too much clothing. It's a good problem to have. Activate this job. Do I have any imports importing armor? No, I don't. Let's create additional import slots. Actually, just activate that one as well. Don't know how to calculate how many people a nursery ultimately gives me and in what amount of time. You can figure it out from looking at the nursery production menu, as it were. Actually, hold on. I'm going to reduce this time speed. I'm pretty sure you actually have to look in the description in order to figure out what their growth time is. Physics, behavior, activities, battle, civic. Personality, service needs. I think it's somewhere in here is what the growth time for like amount of babies times max lifespan / time to become adult. I don't know. This is one of those things where there's just like a lot of menu diving going on. Physics, soiling, the rate at which a subject becomes dirty. Fantastic. Health acceleration, no, no, no. I mean, we could be here for a while. Just reading things. Innovation, emissary points, blah, 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 blah. It's somewhere in one of the menus. Probably gonna fire up the game. First get a snack. Yeah, go get a snack. I had a snack earlier. I put peanut butter and Nutella on a tortilla and then roll it up with a banana on the inside. I call that a snack. Right, I had a food distribution problem that I got completely distracted with, and I still have a food distribution problem. Need to continue fixing that. This is probably not the right place to be building one of these. I'm just gonna do it. Build one there. That's reserved for additional import slots, so I'm not going to build one there. I think I might be able to squeeze one in right there. Yes, that's extremely strange. Cursed builds away. One injured, 6 deaths. Great. Who bought it? Woodworkers, of course. Right. Only one employee. I do like as your city becomes more and more crowded, the builds get progressively more and more cursed. Just need to squeeze everything in. Services, food stall. Access is improving, albeit slowly. Right, I do not yet have full. Ooh dear. Export depot. Clothes. Retain 80%. Warhammers are expensive. I just can't sustain production of Warhammers. Oh man. Takes the same amount of Well, actually, the same amount of resources produce twice the amount of spears. Warhammers are still more cost-effective. Alright, Skrunkle, I defer to you on the arms trading economy. You have clearly analyzed the cost-benefit of each resource to weapon ratio. That being said, it could just be that the international markets are not saturated with the good in question. Oh dear. How's everybody looking on religion, by the way? High access, low quality. Just as I like it. Laws, meh. Who cares about laws? Riches are nowhere near up. You want more army. Speaking of which, nobody in the stockade at the moment. Okay, good. Most of my military is deployable. I wonder if I'm going to be able to engage in Conquest before we get to 100 years. I hope I am. I think this is 4 streams in and I have not yet to engage in meaningful Conquest. I don't know if that's just me being slow, or if that's just kind of the amount of time it takes. Maybe if I went Skrunkle's route, I'd be able to invade faster. Skrunkle, I don't know if you're back. If I ever play another campaign of Song of Six, I think I will take your recommendation just to slam Warhammers down the throat of the international market. Everybody will take sticks with rocks at the end. Alright, how's access? Food stalls 75%. This food stall was of benefit, but not enough. Taking a look at the population distribution, still being mostly centralized. I think I'm going to want to build a larger food stall just right in the center. Three employees, 33 available services. Hopefully that works out. I think the Dondorians might have been pissed because of the lack of food services. Y'all don't have enough. Actually, the one market that I built at the very beginning is still providing 66% access. It's because I don't let them buy or sell anything, obviously. Right, benches. Those things that people actually like having, that I keep forgetting are a thing that exists. That I very intentionally make a 3-wide road for so that I can add decorations. You know, benches. I'll just conveniently and conspicuously put large benches on the south sides of buildings. Wait. Wrong. Sorry, I remember that the north sides of the road are where I put canals on. Wait. No, it's the south side. Damn it. See, this is why it's important to remember your own personal rules. Canals are on the west and south sides of roads. Remember it. It'll be on the test later. All right. Whole bunch of benches. Should make everyone happy. I know you want torches. Torches are an expensive technology, and I'm not there yet. Ugh. I have to unlock basements. Ugh. I'm gonna have to build a second library soon. Food days are back on the up, courtesy of rations being big. I'm gonna make a commitment. Oh no, I still need to build more housing. Housing situation looking like right now? Available 55, 112. Wait, I'm giving slaves furniture? I'm such an accidentally benevolent dictator. And let nobody look into that statement. Chamber, finest of subjects sleep. Who actually cares about chambers? Where in the fulfillment menu? Do we care? Religion? No. Occupation? No. Government? No. What is the point of chambers? Nothing in access. Housing? No. What about preferred housing? Building. Nothing? Religion? Occupation? Government. Nothing about chambers. I know I've built them before. I think that's where the nobles are kind of supposed to live. Not that I care in particular. And as always, on a deficit of stone. More stone miners, please. There we go. Trade. We are making consistent exports of almost all exported goods. Actually being able to make large purchases of armor every 1 or 2 days is pretty impressive. Possessing a highly productive economy. My net worth is at 3.2 million. How does that compare to Nibar? Worth. Holy shit. Getting close. Less than half their population and 2/3 their value. Fight me. But not yet. Capacity. Theft? Well, guess what? Slavery. It's like having a job, but you get iron bracelets. I hear they're very chic. That road could be cobblestone. There's a lot of traffic on that road, so I might as well make all of that pavement. At least up to here. There is a benefit to changing roads that aren't just mood. Different roads will allow for different travel times. I think the best for travel time is highway. Plus 20%. Or bricked road. Oh, cobblestone road also shares 20%. Okay, maybe paved roads aren't so great. Are there any paths that are just sort of undeniably shit? Obviously expensive ones that have low durability. Fungus highways are good, but basically nobody likes them. Kryptonians wanting Forest Plaza roads. Do you want to maintain those Forest Plaza roads, or do you just want the roads? Neighbor, I have someone at my border claiming to know you, or do the Ripper. Oh boy. Guess what? It's incoming additional battle time. Or do the Ripper. It's about 40 more powerful than I was before. That being said, I think the power increase comes from the number of soldiers. I can't help. Oh, shit. Never mind. 100% melee training on the Wills of Iron. All very experienced. All fairly decently trained. I only outnumber them 3-2. No, wait. Hold, please. I wasn't finished looking. Ooh. Actually, I might be able to roll them. 30, 30, 30, and 5. I might straight up be able to roll these guys. Because I do have shock infantry now, and it's all deployable. 20 fully trained troops at 50% melee training. 100 I need to sleep, probably join your next stream. Alright, have a good sleep. Next stream is Friday, 5 p.m. PST. It'll probably go longer than this stream. You made it through most of it. There's only an hour left. Good night, see you later. Right, now the decision of what to do with regards to the invaders. I have a shit ton of war beasts. I'm pretty much all good on armor. I do need to trade for additional plate armor because my Dundorians are not fully equipped. Let's go to Nibar. Hey guys. I need armor. As much as you can give me. Say I want 25 from you. I will give you all of my money. Which puts me at a deficit of 18.3k. What do you want in response for that? Shields, pottery, metal, leather, stone, and food. I cannot do... Actually, I can do that. I can do that. I have more than enough leather armor. Take a look at our import depot. Disabled import of leather armor. I think I only needed... Oh yeah, I have like twice the amount of leather armor that I need. I have, I think, 4 days to respond to Gronk the Fourth. So once that gets to about 3 days, then I'll respond. In the interim, it's just going to be me hoping to import additional armor from somewhere else. Speaking of which, what am I currently importing with regards to all other resources? I was still importing leather armor until recently. Importing tools, but not anywhere near the amount that I'm exporting. So I should just be pretty much purely importing Alright, y'all, I greatly appreciate y'all's service to the crown. However, I do not need any more spears at the moment. I just straight up can't produce falcatas. Maybe getting falcatas would be a good idea. Purchase price $35.80. No, it's gonna be more important to get armor in. Oops. Not accepting that. Not accepting spears anymore because I can produce those myself in vast quantities. Still importing metal, still importing all of that. And now we wait. If you didn't pay our neighbor, they have allowed free passage for Ordu the Ripper. Oh, well, I sort of... It's 1 day. I thought it was 4. I was incorrect. All right. Please rise for the national anthem. Everybody sing your praises for the Parliamentary Democratic People's Republic of the Commonwealth of Boxonia. Forgotten Dance is an absolute thrasher. I actually don't get the reference, I'm sorry. Best song in the entire game? Oh, are you talking about the... Is that what the name of the combat song is? Combat song. War song. Alright. What am I going to be working with? Current song is the Forgotten Dance? Okay. I am mostly good. Oh, yeah. I could very conceivably lose this fight. Well. Bitch save. Last stream ended on a failed battle. This stream could potentially also end on a failed battle. Let's do this. At least this time I have actual horseback shock troops, because last time I had 30 people who were supposed to be cavalry that did not have a single horse amongst them. And they just sort of died. So hopefully I can use them to far greater effect. Alright, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with 4 units, 1 heavily trained melee unit, no archer units, which is fantastic. So I should be able to hold the line with my melee units, pester the shit out of them with archers. And then crash their lines with horsemen. At least that is the plan. Let's set up. Tight formation, defensive. Archers flanking on either side. And then we'll keep our cavalry slightly behind for reserve. All right. Let us begin. All right, seems like they're trying to form somewhat of an encirclement. Around the right side, looks like they're sending their primary troop. The front, they're sending the secondary troop to the side. Oh, never mind, they're doing a weird half encirclement. Let's make large single lines. Bring our archers, or horsemen, over here. Move the archers up to be slightly forward. Be able to see around. Excuse me. I think what I'm probably going to want to do first is use my archers to completely decimate that single unit of 5. Or not archers, excuse me. Horseback riders to completely decimate that unit of 5. Alright. They're charging in. They're splitting up. Kind of looks like they're trying to hit this. Interesting. Bring the archers over there. Have the horsemen engage the unit of 5. Preferably curb stomp them. We are losing troops in the Credo formation rapidly. But they are not flanked. Horseback riders are decimating the Amoebians. Let's bring a cavalry charge into the center right here. Ladies and gentlemen, full charge. Right, broken their formation, pull back. Secondary charge. Good shit. Have them engage in the melee for a little bit. Alright, unit. I'm gonna have the Dondorians collapse into a solid formation in order to handle their main unit. Pull the horsemen back once again. Bretonians are still sort of holding in. Do another charge. Bring the horsemen in through the enemy backline this time. Archers are peppering the sides of the main infantry unit of the enemy. Let's bring the archers up further to the right. Make the formation more dense. Charge him in. Oh dear. Credo infantry broke. That's not a good sign. Take the horsemen and run a little bit of interference. We're going to take the horsemen back and we're going to use them to defend the throne. We're going to need to clean up their main infantry real quick. Bring our archers closer. Make our Dondorians fully engage with the fight. Cavalry is doing weird shit. How are they running faster? I have literal cavalry. Right, what's the melee training? Not great. Alright, we're gonna have both archer units pull back towards the throne to support the archers. I'm just gonna leave the Dondorians to fight in the melee against the enemy main. They're still in full defensive mode, so they should still be able to at least take some punishment for a while. They have numbers. Horsemen are full defensive formation. The two units that push towards the throne have not insignificant injuries. The horsemen are taking quite a bit of damage. Let's get them to hurry their asses up towards their objective. Whenever you arrive, you're going to start peppering the enemy forces, specifically these ones. Feeling outmatched, 19% injuries. Y'all just need to hold. They're not doing an effective crush. As the morale holding, 2.3, not great, not terrible. 0.8, 5.1, 4.7, 4.5, 2.4. Exhaustion, what are you exhausting about? Right. Going to increase speed a little bit. He's 29. Oh man, this isn't looking good. I'm gonna need to save my horsemen. Horsemen are gonna need to get saved. Are they breaking? No, that's bad. I'm gonna lose this. Yep, everyone's routing. We've lost the morale battle. Another stream. Another completely defeated army. Damn. Do I close or restart? I feel like I had the means to win that engagement. I think I fucked up. I'm gonna give myself a gimme. I'm just gonna whoa, not hit my microphone really hard. I'm gonna restart. Just to prove to myself that there was a way to win. Solid defense. Let's use the divide and conquer strategy a little bit more effectively. First off, archers. Want you annihilating that line. Gonna need to have y'all extend a little bit. If I can bait them into engaging frontally with my line, I should be able to do something. Have they inflicted any injuries upon any of them? No. My archers are currently ineffective. Right. Cavalry, run those guys down. Archers, we're gonna have you roll around the back. Alright, Crotonian line, you're gonna have to hold as best you can. Wait for the cavalry to take out the Amoebians. They're massively losing out. Right. You organize a charge immediately. Go. Crotonians and Crotonian horsemen, focus on that line. Dondorians. Consolidate. Hey yo, Crotonians. What are you freaking out about? Attack! Horsemen also attack. Bretonians, I'm gonna have you pull back because you're about to fucking freak out. I'm gonna have the horsemen hold out for a little bit. These guys are let through, but honestly, that's probably a good thing. Gondorians, face down. Bretonians move in behind to support. Going to abandon this front, take my horsemen over behind. They're not pushing all the way through to my throne. Right, charge in. The goal is to annihilate their primary infantry. We're big in the crush now, boys. Archers are going to flank down. Light up their reversed flank. Bretonians are about to break. Horsemen are going in for a second charge. Bretonians broke. That sucks, but it's fine. Archers just keep peppering these guys. Got a strong flank on their primary melee unit. They're taking a charge in, but there's no way they can actually get there. Beat up time a little bit. They retracted some of their troops. Looks like they're plotting towards the throne. That is actually ideal for me. Fortunately, they seem to be kind of ignoring my archers. And the archers are still exacting tolls. 110% morale, that's not bad. Let's engage in a more direct attack against the enemy instead of just holding formation. The archers are stacking up injuries on that one unit. Morale's a little low on the cavalry. Brotherhood of Urgoth is beginning to kind of show up on the archers. We'll just keep an eye on them. It looks like they're trying to actually engage in melee now. Let's pull our archers back. There will be no reward for your attempts. Fire back on them. Light them up. Ensure that a toll is warranted. Archers, just keep peppering them. All right. Enemy unit broke. Bring the boys back. It can happen. Just gotta believe in yourself. They're gonna try to collapse on this line. Bring it down to a 3x3. Over here. Oh, they don't like that. Are they going for broke, or are they just pulling back a little bit? They're going for broke. All right. No, they're not. They're changing their mind. Archers keep hammering them. Yeah, and this game does weird things. Not that I'm complaining. Okay. Just keep pelting them with arrows. Taking increased injuries. The unbreakables are getting kind of broken. They've yet to commit to a charge. Greedo Bow 1 is almost out of ammunition. Yuma Bow 1 is also almost out of ammunition. Right. Run out of ammo. My infantry are less exhausted. Human bowmen, just continue peppering them. I know you don't have a lot of archery experience, but something is better than nothing. Injuries 28% on the unbreakables. Move to attack. Right, archers, this is where your melee training is going to come in handy. All right, one down. Archers move up the side. Dondo Shieldman. Give him the business. Because the pathing in this game is annoying, I'm going to have to do something weird. Right. Got him on the run. Got him on the ropes. Everybody collapse. Actually, I lied. You don't collapse. I forgot to give you any form of weaponry. Exhausted, outnumbered, flanks compromised. Y'all should be dying anytime now. What does morale look like? Decent. Their morale looks kinda shit. Are y'all even attacking? Seriously. Right? Horsemen got decimated. That sucks, but is tacitly acceptable. This is the stupid part where we use archers to fight their highly trained infantry. Just abuse numbers. Abuse numbers and pray. What are you running for? You're massively injured. You're massively outnumbered. Just die already. There we go. I lost half of my army, but I won, damn it. I know I lost the first battle, but I redeemed myself in the second one. I'm going to take that. I know I should have been able to win. I just horribly mismanaged my troops. Enemy is beaten. Rejoice! Spoils of the battlefield will soon arrive. I will be taking all of those things. Thank you very much. Raider defeated the once mighty Ordu. The Ripper lies dead at my feet, O mighty one. The grand total of 500,000 denarii, which I will be subsequently channeling directly into military funding. Because, good God, I need military funding. Alright. All of those war captives are getting turned into faithful workers. An accident has occurred at the clay pit. That is unfortunate. I am sorry to hear that. Let's increase my training availability on both sides. I can get people trained up faster. I'm gonna want my archers to have more... Oops. More bows. More armor. Credo Shieldman didn't even have maximum leather armor. That was a failing on my part. Horsemen should probably also get more armor. 450 of 420 leather armor. And for the archers, I need to be importing weapons. Preferably in the realm of falcatas. Alright. Big win. Big win, just need to channel that into big gains. I have a bunch of flanxes that I don't need. I should probably sell those. Leverage flanxes into more money. 44 flanks times 590 will get me quite a few denarii. If I can turn that into armor and weapons, that is a good thing. And all right. It's good that we have military now. However, 150 troops and 800 citizens. This is not enough. We should have another Dondorian shield unit. Wait, what was I doing? Needlessly editing. Dondorian, these are going to be full armored Dondorians. With 50% training. These ones have spears, these ones will also have spears. Be Dondo Shield 2. Just need bigger melee divisions. I mean, the size of the melee divisions I have now is sufficient. I think I need just more melee in general. Dondo Shield 2. Create another Tritonian shield unit. Just for flavor. Will also be 50% trained. You will have max leather. You will have max shields. You'll have max spears. Credo Shield 2. Accept. Let's increase the training capacity in my training ground. Now what am I short on? I'm short on leather, I'm short on plate armor, but I knew that. We'll keep it at 90 for the bowmen. And in exchange for the bowmen having less armor, they will do more melee damage. I might as well max these out. I don't know what I'm doing. also become quite clear that I don't have enough training ground availability, so... let's excavate a mountain in order to make more training availability. So increase the population caps from 240 and 240. More immigrants. I wonder if I was going to do anything in particular with these two. I cannot recall. I'm going to assume not. I'm going to duplicate these buildings. Hear them happily smacking away with their hammers. Do you hear how happy they are? Alright, sold out all my flanks. And a second training ground. "21 subjects, injured, 9 deaths. At the training ground, well done. Hospital. Hire more people." Is bro insane? Bro is insane. That's a shame. Man, I am getting a net 0.25 war beasts per day. That's rough. What's the decay rate? Minus 10%? Shit. Do something controversial. Dismantle this road. No, not that entire road. Just that part of that road. Build out the road all the way to there, and then increase the size of the Warbeast pasture to extend all the way up to this line. Ten people are deranged. 7 of them are Kryptonians. That's surprising. Our army is embarrassing. Working on it! And we've just proven ourselves on the fields of battle. Why are the Dondorians so pissy? Alright. Refurnish room. Increase size. You refuse to be increased any further than that, you bastards. Okay. Well, get on it. Drop the recruit limit down to 18. Between the two archery ranges, I have 50 conscripts working, which is plenty for the moment. And then I don't need that many people in the training ground. Thank you very much. Drop that down to 28. I think the limit on the other one is 82? 86. We'll reduce this down to 24. Get ourselves a nice, blissfully uneven 120 or 110 people training all at once. I have absolutely zero workforce, but as people get trained, that'll improve. Actually, having no workforce is a problem. Anybody that I can... Any slaves available? One. Just let some more guys in. Yeah. You right. Authorize. Boost that to 250 humans. Legati. More innovation, more knowledge, and 5 more nobilities. I think that's all the nobilities you get is 10. Yeah, I realize that I don't need to press authorize as I pressed authorized and let in an entirely excessive number of Cretonians into the city. So, oops. Time to build more housing. Whoops. That was backwards. Cancel job. House built. This is all slated to get turned into more laboratory and otherwise, so I'm not going to be putting any housing there. I will put additional housing here, though. A stone building, flip it around, stone building. Oop. Don't worry, eventually all those Cretonians that are past the limit will die. And my population will fall again. It'll all be fine. And now that I see that it is 8 p.m., it is about time to close up stream. Oh dear, beast tamers, please become staffed. Staffed? You got issues, whatever. Alright, time to call stream. Thank you all for coming and participating in chat and talking. Great to see you all here. Glad you are all enjoying the game. Next stream is going to be 5 p.m. Friday PST, which is UTC -8. I'm going to send y'all rating into somebody that has another Song of Six stream going. Take a look who we got. Songs of Six. I am literally the only person streaming Songs of Six right now, so yeah, that's not happening. Any games that anyone wants to stream? Maybe another city builder. What was that city builder that's kind of like Mountain Blade Warbands? Actually, is it just Mountain Blade? Or sorry, Mountain Blade Bannerlord. The Warband that's the city building one? I've never played that game. Looked entertaining. I gotta pull up Steam to make sure that I'm actually recognizing the correct game. Silly me. Mount and Blade Warband. No, Warband is not the city building one. Which is the one that's city building? I have absolutely no idea. In the case that I can't remember, I'm just going to turn y'all loose. I raise my hands in defeat. Once again, thank you all for watching. Have a good night.